Hi, Mark. Well, we can introduce ourselves a little bit if you want.
Sure.
I'm
Sure.
Raul. I am dedicated with Daniel, that is the Cocoa Hub creator, to change the world and to find ways to somehow elevate humanity to a level where it is a little more sustainable with a little less conditioning. Uh, Guys, do you want to go ahead and also introduce yourselves?
Okay, we are from Argentina, in Latin America, working on that vision too, to improve our world, improve our present by doing things, doing right things with amazing communities, different communities working every day, side by side, co-creating things, sharing spaces, sharing ideas, and well, we are empowering them, and helping those communities to achieve their goals and help other communities to reach each other. Well, we are here in Latin America, but we are connecting dots between other countries. So we are so excited to speak with Marc today.
The pleasure is all mine. Uh, should I introduce myself as you guys wish?
Yes,
Sounds
go
good.
Yes.
ahead, Mark.
Oh,
Tell us about you.
All right. Who is Mark? What is Mark doing? So, my name is Mark. I was born and raised in Barcelona by a Catalan mother and a German father. So I was always kind of like very, culturally uh, diverse, whatever you want to call it. Always very curious to explore kind of like other cultures and stuff like that. And I ended up studying in the US, not so much out of curiosity for another culture, but because I fell in love with this American girl. And it was the first time like that I had an actual goal in my life. You know, I was always very bad in school. I never, really wanted to follow what teachers will tell me to do. And I even got to a degree where I felt a little bit stupid, because I felt like I wasn't really fitting in, because I didn't want to follow all these, I don't know, just these
rules.
traditional ways
Norms.
of doing things. So I was always kind of like a natural troublemaker, I guess, from what perspective you look at it, right? And so once I was actually in the US, I became a really good student. I was really motivated, but it was very expensive. So I was looking at ways to save some potential money. And one of the things I did was I graduated a semester early, which meant I had like 6 months where I was able to do whatever I wanted. And so I was like, all right, what I want to do is travel. I just want to meet other cultures. I'd already been traveling a little bit, but I wanted to go big this time. And so I decided to spend 3 months in Brazil, and then another 3 months in Australia, followed by a few weeks in Southeast Asia before heading back home. And realizing that, wow, life is way, we're conditioned to think that life is maybe just in this kind of way, and just suddenly being in two totally different cultures or multiple of them, and just meeting so many diverse people, from backpackers to entrepreneurs to digital nomads to local people. All these kind of people made me realize, like, wow, you can live in many different ways. And it gave me a glimpse into what kind of life I wanted for myself, which was a life way more abundant in terms of community, a kind of community that was going to help me grow personally and professionally. I wanted to live a life that would allow me to be location independent, to be able to travel, not be in one specific location all the time. And that right there is what planted the seed for me to, a few years after, come across Karisma, which Karisma, I feel like, has taken on many different masks, right? It started off as a retreat company. We opened up a co-living space. Last week, we opened up an actual physical social club space, right? And even though we may have pivoted a lot and, found ourselves and sought the product market fit and all these different things, the one constant throughout this entire journey has been the community. That's like, for me, the co-working, whether it's an event, online community, retreat, co-living, that for me is just one tool or one medium for building community, right? And so for me personally, I really gave a lot of thought about, you know, the kind of community I wanted for myself. And so for me, the community is a community of creators with a K, Karisma with a K. But for me, a creator is someone who is a builder, is someone who is a dreamer, but also a doer, someone who has identified his or her passion, is in alignment with him and herself, and is actively building that future every single day, fearlessly, but also, you know, collectively with other people, right?
Okay.
And so for me, I also see community as a tool for transformation. I see it as, you know, one of the many ingredients I use to create a fertile ground where people can, you know, then grow faster together. And yeah, I guess it's been a long journey. Yesterday I got home, and I feel like I've never felt more confident in what's coming. I think 2024 is going to be a tremendous year. We have, in 1 month, acquired 50 members have joined in just 1 month, which is absolutely incredible. Everybody does incredible things. The feedback is incredible. The energy that's being felt in the space and the community is incredible. People have told me it's something that they've not experienced before. And yeah, I am really, really grateful for all of this. And yes, I guess just some small little fun facts about myself. I'm an absolute nerd when it comes to community building, whether it is from the branding perspective, from the online community perspective, in-person perspective, through content creation. I'm also very active on YouTube, on Instagram, where I'm trying to share my journey and make the brand more relatable, right? To then foster even more that sense of belonging. I also love the outdoors. I feel like it is now what's keeping me sane to some extent. I love music, specifically techno music, house music. And yeah, I dream of one day being able to build, similar to you guys, ecosystem where if you are a creator, you can feel at home anywhere in the world, whether it is through physical spaces, hybrid community, you know, leveraging online platform and in real life experiences, or just something that's completely borderless. And yeah, that's a little bit about everything. Super happy to go in depth into any things you like.
Wow.
It's amazing. What a journey.
Wow, wonderful.
Okay, the main idea is to talk freedom, talk about more about your thoughts about that journey, deeper into the co-living space, the communities, the digital nomads. So decide where you want to
What
start.
kind of, let me ask Mark, what kind of transformation do you hope to see in the world with what you're doing?
Nice question.
I dream of a world in which people fearlessly live the life that they want for themselves, right? A life without regrets, a life that's lived to the fullest, right? For me personally, my biggest fear is one day getting to my 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, looking back and thinking, fuck, I didn't take that jump, you know, I didn't try that specific thing. And I really believe that everybody, absolutely everybody, has immense potential within. And it's just everyone's responsibility to actually uncover that. But I do believe that nowadays, specifically, we do have the tools to do that, right? Whether it is technology, whether it is, you know, finding our tribe anywhere in the world nowadays, right? Before it was all about connecting physically and just staying like that. Then, you know, we connected offline and then met, you know, connected online. But now it's kind of flipped to the point where many times now we're able to connect online and then meet afterwards offline. I'm sure Ro, Danny, street. I've already had the pleasure of meeting Claudio Matias, but I'm sure we'll one day meet actually in person. And what I think about that is that, you know, when you're able to find what it is that you're passionate about and then find that tribe to further accelerate that, I think a lot of beautiful things can come from that. And just more beyond just actually accomplishing that dream and self-actualizing and starting something of your own, I think just the pure sense of belonging with your actual tribe, I think is already something so fundamental and so incredibly valuable. So yes, I would say that's the kind of future I get excited about.
It's a beautiful future. Do you think this that this can be achieved in the whole world with somehow the co-living movement becoming a little bit more mainstream, and hopefully we manage to create a network so big, a community and a tribe so big that it is a net around the world, like a network state?
I think co-living can definitely help with that. I definitely see it as an accommodation of the future, right? You know, when I dream of my future house and stuff like that, I hope I can build it next to my close group of friends, and we can be closely there for each other. I think co-living can definitely help at the accommodation level, but I think there's many different ways to actually make that happen, right? You can throw in there, you know, online platforms that bring people together, which I feel like more and more of these are actually getting built. I actually love seeing WhatsApp now pioneering also in this space. I think not enough people are actually talking about how much of a key player WhatsApp is going to become for online communities. I think they're going to be dropping many more features in the next couple of years. And then, you know, I think we also need kind of some people that are kind of spearheading these movements as well, right? People, because it's something so unconventional. It's something so that's never really been experienced before. We're breaking the norm in such a tremendous way. So definitely time is going to be one key ingredient there. But I think we need people with, you know, a strong sense of mission, a strong understanding of how to build community, how to deliver that sense of community. Doesn't matter if it's through co-living, co-working, retreats, you know, actual network states. And, you know, these first people are actually going to be the pioneers and the role models in a way. And one of the things I was actually thinking about the other day is like, you know, for example, there's a lot of, you know, when we started in the Web3 era, right? There was so many educational costs, and so many of those things have to be done in such a complicated way. Whereas maybe if you wait just a few years, suddenly the ecosystem is way more developed. Maybe certain platforms, tools that you had to pay for, like big amounts of money for, now suddenly are dirt cheap. We're seeing that also with AI as well. And so, you know, once we start entering that phase where the first network states are being built, the first kind of borderless communities and all these sorts of things, I hope that the first impression we leave on this world is actually going to be a good one, right? And I think there we have to be, you know, in integrity with ourselves, do something that's honorable, really try to make that positive impact. And, you know, I think once people actually start seeing how much of an impact it's making, not just in you know, in the quality of their life, in the quality of their work, and the quality of so many things, I think more and more people are going to start progressing towards that. But I think we definitely need those first leaders, those first movers. We're going to then start building kind of the infrastructure, the tools, the technology to facilitate those things. But we do have a lot of things actually coming up. And I like to think that many of the people who dream of network states, building community, normally have very, very beautiful intentions. Because it's already it's so much work to build a community. You really genuinely have to care about it. If it's just like, oh, it's this business opportunity and oh my God, network states are gonna be the next big opportunity. It's like people you're dealing with people more than with any other product or service, you know? And so I think all that effort is only worth it if you actually also care about this community coming to life, if you actually care about your people, if the people you're with are actually part of your own tribe in the first place. And I think, I mean, for example, when I was building my community, I was like, some people are like, oh, there's an opportunity here. You should go for this niche specifically, which, you know, maybe master's students who are coming to Barcelona. It's like, I'm not even going to take a second to consider this. Like, maybe there's an opportunity there, but I only care about building the community I want for myself. And that's it.
Do you guys want to ask some questions? I have more, huh? But you can go ahead as well.
Go.
Come on. Go ahead, please.
No, I wanted to know, so when you have new people joining in your co-living, what techniques do you use to bring them together to form that tribe that is the...
I think the community starts before the community actually gets to the space. It starts, you know, the moment they actually discover you, whether it is through Instagram, whether it is through your website. And there, the pictures, the videos, the copy of the text you provide is already going to filter a large part of those people and actually set the right expectations. And I've actually been so incredibly lucky that the people that actually apply are people, you know, who are very, very in tune with the things we're trying to build. Of course, we then also have an application process, like the application and an interview, you know, where even more expectations are being set on the table, where I actually make sure that the people actually align with, you know, the other residents that are in the space. But I've also seen it the same way with a social club, right? Where, you know, at this point, I've already been preaching so much about community. I've been preaching so much about going after your dreams, about personal development, about so many different things that, you know, I've probably polarized a good amount of people, you know, that's, and so I don't think, you know, I really definitely think about this a lot. Exclusivity, I think, is a very, or curation, maybe a better word, is a very powerful tool for that, the communication you give as well. But I don't necessarily think that the curation is a must, meaning you have to do this application process. I think, you know, for example, Coco Hub is so specific. It has such a specific, you know, mission and vision. Just even the story, I love watching Coco Hub stories. You know, it just gets me, I don't know, just excited and also like, what the fuck, you know, like makes me question the things that are actually happening. And I resonate with those things. So it's definitely a lot of that starts at the beginning. And then there's definitely a lot of tools also then once people actually get to the space, you know, having a proper onboarding experience. So that the first impression is always good. You know, when people come to the new space, I always give them a big hug. I'm always smiling. And then, you know, I make them kind of part of it. I try to understand, you know, what is it, the things that they're looking for. Normally it's either more creative endeavors or just more connection. I asked about them and, you know, how actually this community is going to help them. And yeah, I think once you have that and you already, like, when I go through the applications, so many of them are actually looking for their tribe, for their community, that once you put them in the right space and you have just certain systems to make sure that things flow, I think the community just takes part of itself. But I think what accelerates that for sure is also in real life presence. I think, you know, when you have personal touches, that's when the sense of belonging actually, you know, accelerates, which is something I struggled way more with when I opened up my first Discord 1 to 2 years ago. It was so hard. There's nothing it's hard to relate to the other people. So yeah, for sure, I think you need a very clear mission, vision, values, philosophy to make sure that you attract the right people in the first place.
I was reading your philosophy in the website, and a really beautiful message that you sent to the people. I think it's something that can be sent to all over the world. This is this community, these types of tribes that we are all trying to create all over the world, and now slowly getting together, are happening for a reason. And I think this reason is higher than all of us. It's something beautiful that we're all doing together, and this type of interviews and getting together is helping in moving us forward into something. And do you think that you, as a founder of something so beautiful and useful for humanity, want to participate in a revolution? Is there a revolution in your mind?
I would say how things are right now, no. Like, I get, sometimes I like to, get a little fired up, and I do believe I've lost a lot of trust in the governments, in the politicians. I really believe that many of these people are just puppets, I really believe that we're being told a certain narrative, right? Even though many other things are happening in the background. I believe that the traditional ways of living are just, also social constructs that have been built, to make sure that society works in a specific way without really pushing individuals to find their individuality, to fully express it. I think obviously we're seeing more of that, and a lot of people are starting to question a lot of things, what's going on. And my conclusion is just like, I'm just gonna try to become independent, whether it is financially, location, place, I don't know, just time independent, like, and just build what I want for myself. I'm just going to make myself independent from the system to the point where I don't need to belong to this. I don't depend on any checks, any salaries at the end of the month, or just any of that. I want to build for myself and for others an opportunity to just be and with whoever and wherever I want to in this world. And so, I feel like, I mean, maybe it is selfish, but I'm just more focusing on building my thing, building it also for others. And so a revolution, wow, like that would be like shit would really have to hit the fan, really. And I think, I mean, I don't know what kind of revolution you're thinking about, but I think the world is already by itself waking up to some extent, and so I think I'd rather participate in this more silent. It's not a silent revolution, but just more kind of sharing my values and opening up, more through action, instead of actually going to the streets and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but you are already part of it because you're doing it and you're teaching and making these tribes.
My interpretation of revolution was like French Revolution style, like everybody in the streets and just destroying everything.
No. Nothing like that. No violence. No.
Okay, then for sure. Then for sure.
I was talking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already just like I don't see myself belonging to the system anymore. I'm just going to build my own system.
That is the revolution.
Yeah, I guess so.
That is the revolution of the mind as well. I mean, you're teaching people to open their minds, to create. So you're giving them power to be themselves. And one of those people is going to be someone that is going to do some kind of technology or some kind of art that will open people's minds to new ideas, to the beauty of what it can be, in my opinion. What I meant was just to actually help build communities, as in being part of the revolution in that way, because in the end, there's not much more we can do apart from this. Anybody else want to ask some questions?
I'd love to ask you guys, how do you feel about the current system? What's driving you guys to actually go against this system, which in many ways has also provided us with a lot of prosperity, a lot of opportunities? Obviously there's a lot of flaws in the system, and I very much aware of them, right? But I'd love to know, like, what's your why behind yours as well?
For me, and I'll just go first, but for me is the fact that in this system, if we continue this way, which is a need for growth, a need for economic growth that will define what we do to our planet and to ourselves. So I believe that if we continue this way, we will reach a point of no return if we haven't reached it yet, be it in the environment or with natural resources that somehow will trigger more wars, or continue this one that will continue to the whole world, and we destroy ourselves for pointless money. And I think that if nothing happens, it's sure that we will destroy ourselves in some way. So I think it's important that we get together around the world to just at least talk about it, open up and see, hey, what's out there, what can we do, And I think there are ways. I don't know if you know what is a resource-based economy, the idea.
I've heard about it, not that well, though.
This is an idea that an old scientist that already died came up with in the 60s. It's never been implemented. It's never been tried in the world. Of course, politicians, governments are not interested in something like this because it would be an efficient world in which we prioritize abundance instead of scarcity, making things available for everyone without breaking, or without the need to buy again, or the need to have more waste in the world. I think we can do better. And we are getting to this, I think, with these movements.
Very nice. So you're very passionate about the sustainability aspect, and how kind of this
and community.
For sure, yeah.
Very much. It's important that we get together. We understand that we are the same thing. We are not here to fight against each other. We're here to learn how to live with each other. And that's what you're doing, and I thank you for it. It's beautiful.
Thank you,
I used to live in a co-living myself, and it's a beautiful experience. Yeah. Matthias.
Yeah, I want to ask Marc, how does participation work in your community? Do they implement some kind of governance? Do they make decisions together for common goals? Because that's a main topic in this revolution, no? To make people participate, to make people wake up and go for the common goals, okay? How are you?
For sure. Very good question. I'm definitely very, very passionate about making this as community-driven as possible.
Okay.
At the moment, I don't have any sort of like shared treasury or kind of token system where people are actively, on the blockchain making votes and sharing their, making those final decisions. I guess we use more basic tools as of right now. I'm slowly transitioning. I'm looking to co-create. Use co-create I think maybe .com or something like that. It's a very powerful community building API, which is, Web3 based, but extremely user friendly, so that they're not even aware of wallets and stuff like that. And it allows you to kind of do token gating, maybe to certain events, to the membership, all these different things. But in terms of the things that we actually use nowadays, is first of all, literally WhatsApp polls, for example. I ask a lot of questions on that specifically. I also, leave certain days of the week for the community to run its own events, right? So for example, one of the techniques that I use is I kind of ask everyone, what are the things you're interested in? What are your expertise? What do you want to learn? What do you want to facilitate? I put all of them in just one column, right? And then people can sign up, okay, I'm interested in participating. I'm interested in facilitating. And then based on what gets the most votes, I then choose and say, okay, this person said that can facilitate, the one that's been most voted. Okay, perfect, let's do that. So it's just like these little small things to kind of bring people into this experience. When I actually designed when we opened up the social club, we designed it to 90%, meaning the remaining 10% would be decided with the community directly and indirectly. Directly meaning, they actually tell you, it would be nice like this, we should do this, or just based more on how the community interacts within the space, how it's being used. So it's just kind of like leaving those little things there for people to kind of get involved and give them that sense of ownership. And also, I guess the other big thing is culture. We really try to, we have obviously some just mandatory rules, just of general things with dog policy, like kitchen, how to just behave and things like that. But we also have kind of culture rules, right? Culture code, whatever you want to call it. For example, one of them is make it happen, right? It's all about, if you dream of something, if you have an idea, go and make that happen, right? But also another one, for example, is, be as honest as you possibly can. We're still improving, not just the person next to you, but the entire space, right? So speak up and tell us those things instead of just keeping it for yourself, because you have ownership in this as well. You can make an impact. So I would say that these are the things that we use at the moment. Obviously, there's many more things that we can actually do. And I'm looking forward to start leveraging some Web3 tools that are already becoming more user-friendly. I definitely, went very deep down the Web3 rabbit hole. I thought I was going to be the first Web3 Coliving in the world. And then I realized when I actually launched the business, okay, it's already a lot, now add the educational costs and all the complexities that also come with it. I kind of what I mentioned earlier, sometimes just waiting a little bit, can actually be the best, not just for yourself, but for everybody else. Because if you, often, when this bubble happens, we always want to be at the forefront. We want to be at the very beginning. But I feel like the little bubbles I've experienced in my life, it's always sometimes just wait, like, I don't know, you invest in Google, Amazon in 2005, 2006, 2010, and you're still chilling, and sometimes we're very passionate. We maybe want to be the early adopters. I think everybody who's passionate about network states is probably more of that early adopter profile, right? But for me, it was, okay, let's get the foundation straight. Let's build the community. Let's build the brand. And once the ecosystem is a little bit more established, once more tools come in the game, let's start slowly throwing those in, but very organically, right? I feel like now I'm about to start implementing some first things into, like, regarding token gating and stuff like that. But it was super organic. It was not like, okay, now I need to do this. It was just more like, I used Luma for events, which I think used to be like Web3 focused, and they have token gating in it. And it's like, oh, interesting. And now I started organizing events, and then I realized, oh, I can token gate for certain people, all these different things. And so, yeah, it's slowly happening. So thanks to people like Real Talk and other people, the ecosystem is moving forward.
Yeah, well, the idea is to help communities like yours to go faster, onboard people around, and make things happen. Okay, make this change happen every day. What are your next steps? What's the next step of your community. What do you think about that next step in the future?
So I feel like I found my thing finally with social club, right? Now I'm a little bit thinking about, okay, I have a social club, I have a co-living. The co-living right now is obviously giving me money, but I feel like at some point it may give me more headaches than actual, rewards, whatever. So I'm thinking of maybe, reducing the services there and just making it kind of like a curated long-term accommodation for these people, and just make that go into more like long-term leases, and then go fully into social club and community building. Here I include social club, I include online community, I include, offering experiences as well. And yeah, I mean, right now I just, the first thing I want to do is, first of all, grow this community. The second thing is I want to solidify a very solid team. I do have some people who are helping out, who are freelancing and stuff like that. But I'm really, really excited to have like, head of operations, head of, content, head of, wow. I'm honestly, one of the things I'm most excited about is generally building my internal community, my team. And yeah, I feel like, even though the community and the brand has been what's been taken on the spotlight, and from the outset it seems like we're a super established company, the reality is that we still have yet to find and solidify that product market fit, right? And then throw, fire into the more wood into that fire. And I really genuinely feel like this is going to happen in the next few months. I really feel like 2024 is going to be a very, very powerful year, in which we're looking to onboard a whole lot of members. And then I think by the end of 2024, I want to build, before I expand globally, I want to have the proof of concept, like the perfect product in Barcelona, fully tested, right? And so for me, I mentioned, I want, I'm thinking of an online community that's borderless, expanding to other locations with this hybrid model, online platform, and, in real life experiences. But then I also want in select locations to have like full on, playgrounds for creators. Right now, the space I have is actually through a partnership with another space owner. And they've given me the space for the next 4 months. So it's still kind of an MVP stage. I think it's going really well because we do have 50 plus members in 1 month alone. But the idea is to, still reinvest everything into growing the community before actually making a huge investment. And once we have, the community, the money coming in, the team and all those different things, then I would love to, before expanding globally, build an actual physical space that's fully owned by us, that may have maybe 1/4 of it be a co-working with also deep work room and stuff like that. But I really want this to be, like I said, a playground for creators, for creatives to build things, to go there and attend events from small to very large, and accommodate the space to be able to accommodate all these different things, have a place where you can experiment artistically, where you can create content, where you can also take care of your health, maybe have a place where you can do yoga, meditation, breath work, a place that's really designed for the community and for creation. And I feel like I've never seen anything like that. Never. The social clubs that are here in Barcelona, at least, it's just more like, it feels like a hotel lobby a little bit. You can do so much just purely with the actual spatial design to encourage community, right? It's not just the people and the events, it's also how you design the space. And then, a lot of co-workings, there's, I feel like many of them are just designed so that people just come and then they go, they work. Like I want this to be an extension of someone's home, meaning if you're a member, of course, you live in your home, but you can come here and spend the entire day, and not just to go work, but to connect with other people, have amazing experiences, to learn new things. And so I'm really, that's just more of a personal dream for me. But once that is established, we have a solid community here in Barcelona. I think it's going to be time to take this global, and then also start establishing partnerships and different nodes, you know, with communities like yours.
Amazing, amazing. Astrid, do you want to ask something?
Yes, Mark, it's really inspiring. My name is Astrid. I'm a co-founder of Vagabonds Co-Living in Tenerife, sorry. But I was born in Barcelona, so I'm Catalan. So
yeah.
like you, yeah, Catalan, being Catalan matters. So I understand really, really well what happened, what your point of view about revolution, because Barcelona itself is a revolution, and there are many things happening there. And it's really challenging just to welcoming people, and also with because everything that happened around Web3 and tourism and gentrification, it happened 10 years ago in Barcelona. I live there. I experienced this, all the difficulties being there. And now your approach is really interesting, because you are just to try and to find the partnerships, and there are many other places that they have the places, big places, but usually they don't have the content, or this content, or the people who takes care about the places. No, is really, really important. This take care of the community and the place. And this is really nice. It reminds me about what it means to yeah, like me following the algorithm counter economy, and this distribution, this decentralization, that I think it's very important to connect the dots, connect the nodes, the different nodes. Probably in your case, maybe Barcelona is a very nice place to find another guys like you in the South Barcelona, and even surroundings, Montseny. There are many other places very close to Barcelona with very nice communities also. Already creating with different topics, with different communities, artistic and music, and even developers and other people. But really is a really nice place to explore, to ask for support. Yeah, and create this network and nodes. I'm also really worried about the all these nodes that we are creating, but we don't know each other. For example, between Barcelona and other communities. Malaga is exploding also about digital nomads, about the and this is something that is not the public interest is just to not be connected, but that's the purpose probably of network states or Coco Hub, or this kind of thinking in another globally. Just to avoid these kind of borders or walls that because public interest, they don't want that we are connected. So yeah, so congrats for the effort, and I wish you a really good success, and if you share it with the other nodes as well, so this could be a really big boom in Catalonia in general.
Thank you, Trin.
Claudio?
Wow, I was just listening every word that you, Mark, you are talking, and I remember when we first met. It's really a pleasure to meet people like you and like you all, and I think that we have a big future and a big responsibility because of all the things that we we are talking. And I think that if our communities can build each other by his own way, but thinking all together, it will be much easier for all of us around the world. I have some ideas that can do much easier for all of us to grow together, to be stronger, and to go maybe by the good way, you know. Do, like you said, Mark, it's not the same to share ideas between share ideas and doing it. It's different things, and you are doing that, and we can all see that, and it's great, really. With Matthias, we are having some excellent examples from Uruguay with our community, and you can all see those examples. Maybe, how can I say, these are our first steps, and it's not easy to start this kind of ideas, because as you said, Mark, this is a new kind of work, new kind of life, and we decided to live different way from the others. And it's so difficult to share some things and some ideas from the traditional world of kind of life. And I am sure that this kind of life, as you said, Mark, with Karisma, I am following you and your community, and really it's great. It's really very nice what you are creating. And I think that in some issue, we are going all together by the same way. So we have to be strong. We have to look forwards and do some, be strong together, you know. I think that together we are going to be stronger, and everything is going to be much better by that way.
We will break the borders of this planet that don't even exist.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I have one more question, Mark. It's the classic question I ask when we interview people. What do you think is the role of psychedelics in society to allow for different ideas to sprout?
So it would be interesting if people, obviously, you know, we have to state obviously that the usage always has to be responsible, that negative things can also happen, and it's not like this piece of gum that you just throw in there, and it's something that has to be done very much intentionally, with, you know, the right people, the right setting, the right everything, right? But I wonder what this world would look like if, you know, many of the people that are actually making decisions in this world, or just like the everyday fathers and mothers, just open up their mind to such an experience, right? I think it makes you question a lot of the things we do. And therefore, at the same time, you know, we're just talking about how the system is just still the system being a social construct because of the way we think, right? And so I think psychedelics could do an excellent job at actually opening up our minds in a very effective way, in my opinion. And I mean, yeah, I wonder, you know, if we would still live the way we live if, you know, people tried psychedelics in a very responsible manner, right? Not as a party drug or just, you know, like just to get high or something like that. I've tried psychedelics. I'm not like a heavy user, but I've taken a lot of beautiful lessons and learned beautiful things about myself, about the world I live in. Give me a whole new perspective on also nature, right? Like it connects you a lot with more your primal side, your real side, right? Which we've become so disconnected from. So I think overall, I think there's a lot of positive in that, as long as it's done responsibly. Nice question.
Thank you. Set
Cool.
and setting, right? I agree
Yes.
with you 100%.
Cool.
Mark,
you guys so
I have
much.
a question. I have a question. Sorry. How do you connect the local communities with the people who arrive in Barcelona?
We do a lot through partnerships, right? So like a lot of events. I try to organize as many events as possible, and I cannot do that physically myself all the time. So I find, since I already have an audience, I now leverage this audience to bring it to, partners who are already organizing events. So, you organize an event on how to do ceramics, on ice bath, on whatever. Cool. Let's do it on this date. I bring in the people. And then I also just always I'm in the process of creating a lot of partnerships for discounts for selected places around the city to kind of, show people where they can go at a nicer price. And then obviously, me, myself, being a local, I can always provide good insights and recommendations on things that are happening in the city and stuff like that.
Because
and then our community is also 30% local as well. So that's a nice mix.
Okay. Because my question was more related to about the traditions, another language that we talk there in Catalonia, because many people got surprised when they arrive. They learn for 2 years Spanish, and after they found the Catalan, and how to approach this to those guys that they don't know. Because Catalonia is a really special place, and this is sometimes this connection creates this kind of problems about gentrification and tourists go home.
Yeah, 100%. All right, I would love to stay longer here. I'm already 5 minutes late to meeting. But I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm happy to have this again whenever needed. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity. I feel like often I'm just working in my own cave every single day, and I don't appreciate the beautiful things. Yo, 1 second. All the beautiful things that are happening in my life in general, and I'm just moments like this where the work is being, where there's. Yeah. Anyways, I have to go, but I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay? Ta-ta.
Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Love you all. Thank you.
Love you. Bye-bye.